Hi, hi, and welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. No, it's been a while, but I'm back, guys. And so I'm back with another review of Love After Lockup. This is going to be season 5, episode 22. So, actually, I'm sorry, I missaid that. I misspoke. This is episode 20. Okay. All right, so we'll just go ahead and jump right in. This show should move pretty fast since I don't have other panel members today. However, you guys know how I do it. You can either talk on the live stream and I'll respond to you, or you can say something in the comments and I'll respond that way, or whatever is going on, and let me know what your thoughts and your opinions of this episode was. So this episode aired last Friday. So I'm a bit late getting on it, but I still decided to bring it to you guys. Okay. Alrighty, so we'll start off with Chevelle and Quaylen. All right, so we see Shayla. What I want to call her, Shayla. Chevelle takes her mom to the side to have a conversation with her. They're actually at her bridal shower, and in the previous episode, Chevelle's mom and Quaylen's mom had got into it. I'm talking about getting in each other's faces, screaming and yelling. So Chevelle, she takes her mom to the side, and just regarding the comments that her mom has been saying about Quaylen, she says that her mom has been very negative regarding Quaylen, which, and I can understand that. Of course, she wants to talk to her mom like, hey, he's about to become my husband. This kind of isn't cool. You talking trash about my husband. And so it was probably the funniest line probably I've heard of this show. She tells her mom, because her mom is still amped up, so she tells her mom, shimmer down. I don't really know what shimmer down means. I know what simmer down means, but and it was crazy because her mom said the same thing. Like, I don't have to shimmer down. She didn't even realize what she was saying, but it was funny to me. I got quite a few laughs off of that. All right, and then we also see that Chevelle's mom and Quayla's mom and Quayla's sister, they get into an argument where they're screaming and yelling. All kinds of profanity is going on between the three of them. And Chevelle, she gets so upset, she walks out. And Quaylen actually follows her because he goes to comfort her, which again is very understandable. Of course, he would want to, comfort his soon to be wife. And so Quaylen's mom actually stops them and has a conversation with them, and she actually apologizes for her part in the argument, and she says that she is even willing to stay away from the wedding if that's what it takes for them to have a good wedding, right? So I'll say that's very kind of her, because not Chevelle's mom is definitely not being that nice about the situation. Alrighty. And so the three of them, they hug. We see them hug, which is a very sweet moment. And they go back inside and they go in to talk to Chevelle's mom. And that conversation actually does not go well. At first it did. It seemed like Chevelle's mom was kind of listening to her. And then she stopped and started adding her extra and, allowing it to become loud and obnoxious again. And Chevelle ends up walking out. She's just like, forget it. I don't even want a bridal shower anymore. I just really want to leave at this point. Like, this isn't cool. Which I understand that. So, okay, guys. So let me know your thoughts and opinion on Chevelle and Quaylen this week, and the actions of the moms. You know, who do you think was more so wrong in the whole argument between the moms, and then when Chevelle went to talk to each mom individually, her and Quaylen, did you guys kind of that, see it coming that Chevelle's mom was not going to be as, what do we want to call, as agreeable as Chevelle was probably hoping that she would be? I don't know. So just want to ask you guys. Alrighty. So the next couple we saw was Lindsay and Blaine. All right. So Lindsay and Blaine, when their scene starts, they are arguing about what Blaine does and what he doesn't do around the house. Um, he brings up the fact that he feels like Lindsay is always um, griping about the things that she feels like he's not doing. She never sees the things that he is doing. He even said he would love to get married to her, but they can't even get past not fighting long enough for him to actually try to do a grand gesture to her, you know, in support of a wedding. Which I totally understand that why would he want to propose when they're having such bad times, okay? We see Lindsay, she starts crying and stuff. He tells her he needs to leave the house. And so then we roll into like the next day or a couple days later, we see that Lindsay is going wedding dress shopping and she's taking her daughter with her. You can tell the daughter is not really wanting to go. She doesn't really see a point in going. You know, she's kind of like, you can tell she's not happy about this union. So when they get into the bridal shop, Lindsay's mom comes and Miley ends up telling her or confiding in her that Lindsay and Blaine fight a lot and that she doesn't know that they should go forward with this marriage. She also tells her that Blaine comes to her when when he fights with Lindsay and he'll say negative things about her mom and about their relationship to her. And Lindsay's mom reveals that he's done that to her too. So they agree that they think they should talk to Lindsay about it. So Lindsay comes out, she's got this dress on, um, and her daughter and her mom basically tell her what's been going on with Blaine. All right, so Lindsay is upset, you know, and she's asking her daughter, well, why didn't you tell me what's going on? And her daughter's like, well, I figured, you know, you had saw it on the cameras that are all in the house. So Lindsay actually goes through the cameras while she's sitting there and she can see what the daughter is talking about or what Blaine does after the fights. So Lindsay is visibly upset. She asked her mom to drop her daughter off. I guess she had practice or something like that. And she asked her to drop her off. And so she was like, yeah, I'll do that. She was like, I need to make a phone call. So she still got her wedding dress on, and we see her, she's starting to call Blaine. And I guess she's so upset she's not even thinking about what she's doing, but she actually walks out of the bridal store wearing her dress. And so the bridal store employees are looking at each other and they're like, did she just walk out of here with her dress on? So she does that and then she walks back in and we we can see well we hear her yelling at Blaine. There's not a whole conversation going on. She's just yelling at him and saying things like, how can we move forward and past this? You know, things of that nature. All right, and that was the end of their scenes. So the next couple that we saw was K Rock and Brittany. And so we see them, K Rock, they're in the car, and it looks like Brittany is either teaching him some Spanish words or she is just trying to help him maybe remember what these words were. We couldn't tell if she was teaching or if she was just helping him remember. All right. And so they are actually headed to Brittany's grandmother's house. We see them arrive. Brittany's grandmother is very excited to see them. They have flowers for her. They go in the house and they sit down and, you know, and they talk. And the grandmother, you know, she doesn't speak very much English. So most of her speaking, she's doing it in Spanish. And you can tell that Kirok is trying to kind of understand or pick up on what she's saying. But she did say that when Brittany had went off to prison, the grandmother didn't know because Brittany's mom told her that Brittany was gone off to college and that like she couldn't talk to anybody, that her phone was off, so she couldn't call anybody. She was giving her all these excuses, and then a little before Brittany got out, that's when it was finally revealed to the grandmother that Brittany was in prison. And we also see that Brittany's uncle is there. So he stops into the room and kind of talks to them some, and then he asks Brittany to go outside with him. And so they talk, you know, he asked her about her mom and things of that nature. You know, she just said that, you know, her mom doesn't accept her relationship. And, he was saying, basically he didn't like that, but he accepts the relationship. And Brittany had even made the statement that, if she gets married, she'll probably have to get married alone. And he was like, no, he would be there because, he's okay with her relationship. So they go back inside the house, and another one of Brittany's relatives shows up, and they kind of talk to him, a little bit. And then they let the grandmother know that they need to get on the road heading back home because Key Rock had a pass, like a travel pass, so they needed to be back home before the travel pass expires. And the grandmother just basically tells them that she's in support of them, and she would even be happy if they moved closer to her. And then Brittany and Key Rock, they got up and they left, and they're headed back home. And so, Key Rock expressed how happy he was to finally meet somebody, to finally be able to meet anyone on Brittany's side of the family. So it seemed like they had a good visit. Um, and that was pretty much their scenes. So the next couple was Raynomi and Janomi. Oh, y'all, please forgive me. Janomi and Red. Okay. So we see that Red has met up with one of his friends that he actually did time with. He said that him and this friend, they were pretty much always together at the prison. When one got transferred, the other got transferred, and things of that nature. And we also end up seeing Red meet up with his friend that introduced him to Joe Nomi. All right. And so he says that he initially introduced them so that Red could milk Joy Nomi for money. But Red said he tried to go that route with her, but about 18 months in, he actually fell in love with Jay Nomi. And so it stopped being about money or what she could do for him. Right. And so their scenes were going back and forth a lot between the two of them because they're actually in two different locations. Like Red had left to go visit his family, and Janomi is still, at home. And so we see that her and her son, they're cleaning up, and she realizes that Red's PS5 is gone. So quite, she can't quite figure out if Red took the PS5 with him, or or if the PS5 is just missing, like it's been moved or touched by someone. And so we see her, she's looking around the house for it. And then the scenes like jump back to Red, and Red meets up with some more of his family. And so he's talking to his family members, look like they're eating some dinner. Then it flips back to Joy, and she's telling her family that Red has left and that he's gone. All right, so then it jumps back to Red, and he's telling his family that he really needs to work things out with instead of leaving. And his family saying they to him like, yeah, you need to work on things. And then he sees a picture show up on social media of Joy, and she has like her full face done. She looks very happy, and he's like, look at her. And then he sends her a text saying that he's about to come home, that he's on his way home. And so the scene like flips back to Joy Nomi, and she's talking with two of her friends or two of her cousins, or a cousin and a friend, whatever, I'm not quite sure. That she is telling them, that Red had left. And, they're just trying to give her some advice. And then she's like, oh, I just got a text from him saying that he's on his way home. So the next scene, we see that he's like walking in the door. And the first thing she asked him was like, did you meet any girls while you were gone? And he's just like, no. And so then she reveals to Red that she's made a list of the things that she needs from him. And so she starts reading off the things she's listed in this notebook. And so at first he was listening to her. I'll give him that. And he was actually responding where you could tell he's listening, and he's trying to take into consideration the things that she says she needs. And so he decides to admit to her that when they had a fight and he had ran out of the house, that he had actually met up with a girl and he had sex with her. So that's where their scenes ended. You can tell that Joy Nomi was sad, on the verge of tears. Then we see a clip the upcoming episode, where of course she's going to be crying um, over what he just revealed to her. And I guess we'll get to see her full reaction on the next episode. All right. So the next couple that we saw was Justine and Michael. All right. So we see they're actually out eating, Michael and Justine, when his mom calls. And she's like, she needs to talk to him about something. Can he, break away from the family? Which he did do that. He broke away from the family. And so she asked him, like, how did everything go? Because they're supposed to be moving soon. And he tells her that he can't leave right now. So then she suggests that she can come to Pennsylvania to where they are and stay with them for the summer so that she can help Justine out with the baby. And, and she'll be there for the other kids as well. And so, Michael basically tells her, I need to talk to Justine about that. And we'll see what she says and how that goes down. So Justine actually comes outside while he's talking to his mom, and he tells her, the idea that his mom had ran by him. And at first, she was a little leery of it, which I get it because they haven't gotten along the best. And then just, she's not happy with the situation that they're in right now because they were supposed to be gone. But she actually agrees that his mom and his other kids can come for the summer. All right, so then we see his mom arrives with the children, and his oldest daughter, Michael's oldest daughter, pulls him to the side and tells him that when he goes to Las Vegas, she wants to come and live with him too. And so Michael just kind of let her know. He let her know in a nice way that, right now would not be the time for her to come. And, that she's really, really tight with her younger brother and helps her mom out a lot with like the little brother. So, he thinks that'll cause a little issue there, like her brother, her moving away and leaving her brother behind. And so it seems like she kind of understood what Michael was saying. And that was kind of the last scenes that we saw there. So what did you guys think about what Michael said to his daughter? Um, Wait, you have told her, come on, let's go, or would you have said the same thing to her? And the, what did you think about Justine agreeing to let the mom come as well? What are your thoughts on that? All right, so the last couple that we saw was Sean and Sarah. All right, and so we see Sarah is cleaning her scars because Sarah has had a tummy tuck. All right, so she's cleaning her scars. The scars look pretty bad. So I don't know if this tummy tuck just happened. I know, what was it, last season or the season before that, she had her breast done. So I guess she decided to go back and get her tummy done. But I just don't know the time frame there. The scars, they weren't pretty scars, if there's such a thing. All righty. And so we see that Sean wants to show her how to drive the tow truck. Because for Sean, he has this bright idea that he feels like right now they're not making money with the one tow truck that they have. And it's become a money pit. It breaks down a lot. And so what he would like to do is buy a second truck. And he feels like Sarah could drive the second truck so that, they can make more money, even more money. And so we see he takes Sarah off to a parking lot and he shows her how to tow or pull a car onto the tow truck. He pulls their car onto the tow truck, right? Okay. And so he reveals to her his plan of how he wants to buy a truck. He wants her to drive. And so Sarah says that they're in a lot of debt between like her surgeries, the truck, and credit card bills and stuff. She was like, they're just drowning. She doesn't think it's a good idea. So Kelly, Sean's baby mama, calls. And so Sarah just becomes agitated immediately when she sees it. And she's like, what does she want? And he's kind of, how Sean is kind of like a goofball. He's like, what do you mean? And she's like, what does Kelly want? The name, you know who it is. And so he tells Sarah that Kelly is calling because she wants money. So that upsets Sarah. Sarah's like, we're already paying child support. This is money to help her out. That's what she's wanting. She's wanting you to support her. And, she's going in, which this is what I'll say. The things that Sarah was saying was not necessarily wrong. The whole problem is that Sean is not being honest with Sarah, because Sean later confides to the camera that Sarah thinks he's been sending money to Kelly for the children, but he reveals he hasn't sent money to Kelly in months. And that he's really been putting money she thinks is going to his child support into the truck, which that is where he's wrong at. But that's where, ladies, we have to be careful, because sometimes men will tell you, they won't tell you the whole truth. I'm not saying all men do this, but if you're, especially you're dealing with a man with a child, and I feel like, especially, it seems like he's okay with those two hating each other, his wife hating his baby mama. So he knows it's easier for him to lie and be able to say, well, I'm sending Kelly money, because he knows Sarah's not going to pick up the phone and call Kelly and ask Kelly, because of the turmoil that those two have together. So he knows he can lie and say whatever about Kelly, or that this is what's going on in this situation, and Sarah is just going to buy it. And of course, she has bought it, and now she feels like Kelly calling and asking for money is out of the question, or is wrong, when in reality, he hasn't sent Kelly anything. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that was this week's episode. Tell me, what were your thoughts? What did y'all think about the whole shimmer down when Chevelle told her mom to shimmer down? What were your thoughts on that? And tell me, what was your thoughts on the other couples that were mentioned to me? Um, how do we think the next episode is going to go with Joey Nomi, and Red? Do you think she's just going to have a meltdown? Do you think she's going to forgive him because he was honest about it? What are your thoughts? Y'all tell me what your thoughts are for this episode. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And I want to thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit the like button before you leave. All right. Have a great day.